inshallah. Right? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على خاتم الأنبياء والمرسلين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Now, today, inshallah, we are going through the procedures of the Umrah. Yet, I have with me, of course, right? Oops, the Kaaba, right? Just to make it easy for you in your in our preparations, inshallah. Yeah. Now, it is important that I just share with you that the most important complaints from the people who are performing Umrah among steps of Allah is that they always say, and I've year after year when I lead a group of people to Umrah, they will always say, I wish I had more time to prepare. So in a sense that they had a lot of time, we always prepare about 2-3 months at least before Umrah, but it's just that they would always think that, oh, it's okay, last minute, I just follow you, follow me. Now, the important thing that we have to do things as if you're doing on your own. Why? Because it is a distraction that you always look up where I am, right? When you read your dua, as I said, there's nothing much to memorize because you just need to read when you walk. You just read the notes or go through your mobile phones if you think that you want to do a mobile phone, and that's about it, right? There's nothing much to memorize, but it's just about you do not just want to end up reciting things that you don't understand, correct? And as we have done now is about we are coming to about less than 3 months before we of course I'm going to Malaysia, Indonesia first. Sorry, it's about 3 months before the our Umrah. Yep, and we do have a lot of time, so we have no excuse, inshallah, to make sure you are familiarized with the notes. So the notes, the steps to Umrah tree is very important. This is the most important thing, right? A lot of my students say that they cannot find such notes because we have compiled for you exactly what you're going to do the time that you perform Umrah, all right? So as let us recap our journey, right? We are going to meet in Medina first. So even though you may see people in the ihram attire on the aeroplane on your way either from Malaysia or from UK, all right? Don't worry because you're not doing Umrah first. So therefore you do not need to be in ihram attire. Even sometimes when you take the Saudi Airlines, there might be an announcement, oh, this is your miqat place. Miqat is a place that you have your intention, right? So you do not need to be worried because you're not doing Umrah first, yeah, because you are going to Medina, right? So the thing that I need to advise you is to be patient and to be patient and to be more patient because Allah's test will certainly come. Whether it is regarding that, well, our flight or your, because we are going on different flights and we are meeting in Medina, inshallah, right? So perhaps your flight and my flight might be delayed. The luggages didn't come. We had an incident last time was it in October? Yeah, I think it was in October time, right? That the luggage didn't come, or something happened. You are stuck somewhere, and something happened in immigration. Yeah, the drivers, for example, didn't know where your hotel is. Yeah, and all this can because the drivers in Mecca and Medina are not local Saudis. They are from overseas, either from Egypt, from Sudan, yeah, or coming to earn some decent halal income, inshallah, all right? And they might not know the roads very well, yeah. So have a lot of patience because part and parcel of the beauty of Umrah or Hajj, it is to be patient, yeah. Another thing, of course, that I need to remind everybody is about the fact that, okay, even though this applies to Hajj, right, it also applies to Umrah, right? When Allah informed us, I think this is in Surah number 2, right, in verse number 197, right? In Surah number 2, let us go through this together, right? In verse number 197. Yeah. This is about the provisions that we are supposed to bring. Yeah, when Allah talk about provisions, you might think, what is provision? Is it about money or what? Right? So in the last bit, yeah, Allah informed us, yes, وَتَزَوَّدُوا فَإِنَّ خَيْرَ الزَّادِ التَّقْوَى. Yep. Which means that, and wattaqullah ya ulil albab, which means, and take a provision for the journey, but the best provision is taqwa. And this is important when we realize this, right? When we have the provisions that we are preparing for either Hajj or Umrah, yeah, we do need to remember that the most important is taqwa. Why do you need taqwa? Because, for example, right, in situations where rushing to kiss the black stone, for example, there'll be a lot of rush. People are pushing and shoving, all right? Some people are even, they don't care about others. They just want to kiss the black stone, and they may hurt others. The worst thing, there might be some sisters in front of you, right? What do you do, right? So again, you must exercise a lot of taqwa in this, yeah? Or there are things, for example, you are so tired, right? And I've seen it. I won't say, well, I won't mention who is it, right? Who was it? That somehow or other they miss the obligatory prayers, and your hotel is just a few minutes away from the haram because you're so tired. Yeah, it is no excuse, but subhanallah, you're in a holy place, you are there. And as I said many times to my students, when you go there, this is not a holiday. Never take it as a holiday. This is an act of worship. So you don't go there with the intention, okay, I'm going to buy for my auntie gold, I want to buy for my future wife that gold ring. All this in your mind first, and then the seeking knowledge about the Umrah, we call it Manasik or procedures, yeah, come later, right? So this is important that we prioritize. Again, in what we discussed in the first talk of our Umrah lesson about 2 weeks ago, my first question was, why do you want to go to Umrah? Right? It is not, if the reason is to fill up your content page of your TikTok pages, or to get more subscribers for your Facebook and all this, and for your Instagram pages, surely then you may as well cancel the ticket and don't go. Yeah, because after spending all this money, spending all this time and sacrifice, yeah, to go to the Umrah, the last thing that you want to do is to have your deeds not accepted by Allah, right? Surely we do want to be focusing on the acts of worship, right? So, and this is something in which when you attend Umrah talks, not many people will give you this kind of advice, that always understand that you are there because you are chosen by Allah. Alhamdulillah, we are inshallah invited by Allah to go to Umrah in October. And this must be our priority, yet to make sure that the deeds are accepted well. How are our deeds accepted? First of all, we need to understand the basics, that the deeds are accepted. First of all, that of course you must be a Muslim, or even when you are Muslim, you must not commit shirk. So if you are doing the Umrah and having these taweez and all this, can forget about doing Umrah, right? Because the deeds may not be accepted. Right? Secondly, of course, the intention must be for the sake of Allah, not because you want to please your subscribers on the TikTok and all this. Yeah, it must be to please Allah only, full stop. Thirdly, you must have the ability to understand that every act of worship must be in line and conformity to the Qur'an and authentic hadith. You will see many different things, many different people are doing different things in all this. People are making dua to the Maqam Ibrahim, people are wiping their things with Maqam Ibrahim, which is the what do you call it, glass structure that contain the footsteps or footprints of Ibrahim alayhi salam, right? People are clinging to the Kaaba like the Spider-Man. Many things you see. Do be careful, right? Do not follow the majority. That's why, as I said, right? Your job, inshallah, to ensure that you know the procedures as if you're performing Umrah alone, without me. Because it is quite distracting every time you want to, because subhanallah, especially when it's get crowded, right? The minute you turn away, even for a few seconds, you will lose your companions, right? And this is important, that you really we really know what to do on his own. And the worst thing is, I said, and many people are doing this, right? They just rely on the sheikh or the leaders in order to know what to do. No, right? You must do it as if you're doing on your own. That's why we do need to be very familiarized with these steps of Umrah number 3. The notes that inshaAllah will help you and me to be able to do the acts of Umrah, or the Manasik of Umrah in the best of manners, yeah, according to the Qur'an and authentic hadith, inshallah, yeah. And next thing that we do need to understand before we go to the topic of the Manasik, yeah, every step that we do, there must be, or you must understand the reason, right? Why you do this, why you do that, why you expose the right shoulder, yeah? Why do you jog first 3 rounds and all this, yeah? There is a reason why you're wearing 2 pieces of cloth. All of us must wear the same things, not stitches. There must be a reason, yeah? And when we do need to really, when we know the reason, then we are more grateful to Allah, right? For having inviting us to go there, inshallah, yeah? And this gratefulness, we must really maintain at all times. Don't take it for granted that, oh, yeah, everybody can afford to go there. Not everybody will go there, right? Even though you have so much money, if Allah do not invite you, you will not go there, yeah? So important, yeah, that before we even go to the manasik itself, the procedures of the Umrah, right? I will help you, inshallah, to understand why do you say this and why do you say that, inshallah. Okay, now so let's for today, let's go to the steps itself, right? If you have any questions, do stop me or do just ask questions and then we will continue, inshallah. Yeah, let me see where is, okay, my glasses. Okay, so as I said, to run by you again for most of us, after you're going to Mecca first, right? Correct? Yeah. So, but for most of us, we are going to Medina, right? So for those who are going to Mecca first, then your ihram attire would be on the aeroplane. You must wear it, your ihram attire, yeah. And we're going to talk about the conditions of ihram, right? The conditions of ihram means that at the point of intention, which is called the miqat, then the conditions will start, not at the point of wearing it. So that means for us, most of us are from Medina, right? So of course, all of us would from Medina, from our hotel, would be in our ihram attire. That doesn't mean that that point of time that you're wearing ihram, the condition starts there. No, it is in the miqat. For those of us from the train, the miqat will begin about 8 to 9 minutes after the train leaves Medina. There will be an announcement, inshallah, right? And they just say the intention as the first point of Umrah Manasik. Yeah. For those who are on the plane, there will be an announcement usually about, well, 25 minutes or half an hour before the plane land in Jeddah. Yeah, your miqat is, yeah. So at that point of time, you must be prepared. You cannot, oh, miqat is here. I haven't changed to my attire. You must be at that point or time of miqat, must be in the ihram condition to get ready for the miqat, to say this first point of intention. Now, the intention is the only, this is the only intention of any acts of worship, right, that we say it loud. Usually any intentions, including salah and fasting, we just say it from the heart, isn't it true? Right, but this is the one you need to say it verbally. Yet, so when you reach the point of miqat, you will say this, Allahumma, this is on the steps to Umrah number 3. Yep. To look at your notes. Yep. Allahumma labaka Umrah. Yeah, which means, oh Allah, here I am performing Umrah. And if, all of you have the notes, right? It is in the WhatsApp group, right? You just go through it on the document section, and you have the steps to Umrah number 3. Yeah. Allahumma labaka Umrah. Right? So this is the beginning of the ihram condition. So in fact, let's go back a few steps before, right? So if the car, because you're going to Mecca first, in your home where you were, right, you would do your ghusl first, right? For us, the rest in Medina, because we're going from Medina to Mecca, in Medina, in our hotels, in the morning or before we leave to the train station, we do our ghusl first. But that is an important sunnah to do, a ghusl, and after that, we will wear perfumes. Do not put the perfumes on your ihram attire. Put it on your body as a sunnah, because Prophet Muhammad ﷺ would he asked Aisha anha to put perfume on him. Yeah. So when you travel, right, do remember there's always a travel in the fortress of Muslim. There is a dua. It's not in my notes. Yeah, the dua of travel on a journey, dua of a what do you call it, on a vehicle. Yeah, beautiful dua. Do make this dua, inshaAllah. What you have to avoid is following others. What do I mean by this? Some people will do, there is a two sunnah prayer of the intention of a journey. There's no sunnah prayer of a journey. It's all an innovation. So you don't do this, right? So you when you travel from the house, as usual, you say Bismillah, tawakkaltu ala Allah, wa la hawla quwwata illa billah, and the dua and all this. Yeah, the dua of a journey. Yeah. So you did your ghusl, and then you go out of the house, yeah, with a dua, right? And after that, for all of us, we will reach Medina and all this. We will spend, most of us will spend Medina for about 4 days or 4 nights and all this in Medina, yeah. Then in the morning, so we will be leaving, I assume, I think on Tuesday morning, right? I can't remember the date, perhaps on the 24th, if I'm not mistaken, in the morning, right? We will be leaving. We're going to book the train later, yeah, because the train, I think, is not out yet for the booking, yeah. So in the morning in Medina, in the hotels, we do the ghusl, right? And we go out of the hotel to the train station. We should reach the train station about at least 40 or 45 minutes at least before the train depart, yeah. So because you do not want to rush, yeah. And after that, we board the train, yeah. As we board the train, yeah, already in our ihram attire, ready. So when you say this, right, for us, 8 minutes or 9 minutes after we depart the train station in Medina, going to Mecca, is about 2 hours plus, and 2 hours or 25 minutes journey around there. Yeah. For iftikar and the friends, you're going, you have a transit that you can change your ihram attire and the transit. And then 30 minutes before you reach Mecca or Jeddah airport, sorry, you say your intention. Yeah, so it is Allahumma labbaika umrah. When you say this, the conditions of ihram will start. What are the conditions of ihram? That means you must fulfill these conditions. If you forgot to fulfill these conditions, then you need to sacrifice a sheep there and then in Mecca, inshallah. Yeah. So the first of all, no perfumes after that. Yeah. Secondly, no hat. You must not have any hat. All right. Some people are used to wear hat and they need to wear hat. No, you must not use any hat. Yeah. You must expose your toes and your ankles. So don't wear your shoes. Don't wear your socks. Yeah. Wear sandals or slippers. Yeah. No cutting of hair. No cutting of nails. Yeah. What else? No proposals until you finish your cutting your hair. So if you have you have somebody you intend to propose, don't propose iftikar, right? What else? No stitched clothes. So nothing is stitched. So you need to go without your underwear, right? So just a 2 pieces of cloth, yeah, without the underwear. You can wear sunglasses. You can wear watch, yeah, it's no problem. And advise you, as I said in my first talk, right, to get this the sling bag with you, big enough to put your slippers, big enough to put a water bottle for your Zamzam water, yeah, and your notes and your mobile phones and all this, yeah. So this is it, right? My question is, why do you say Allahumma labbaika umrah? Here I am, O Allah, performing umrah. Why do you say this? Anybody? Iftikar? Unmute. They can't hear you. Okay, anyway, I can't hear you. So anyway, if you look in surah number 22, now that is very, very important that we understand this, right? Why do we say Allahumma labbaika umrah, right? In surah number 22, right? in verse, it's not in my notes, yeah, that's just supplementary things that I'm informing you in verse number 27, right? Allah informed us, وَأَذِنْ فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ يَأْتُوكَ رِجَالًا وَعَلَى كُلِّ ضَامِرٍ يَأْتِينَ مِنْ كُلِّ فَجٍّ عَمِيقٍ, which means, and proclaim mankind the Hajj, or the pilgrimage, yeah, and they will come to you on foot and on every lean camel. They will come from every deep and distant white mountains highway to perform Hajj, right? Of course, it can be even apply to Umrah, right? So what happened, right? So when the Kaaba was built, Ibrahim alayhi salam was ordered by Allah to proclaim the people to perform Hajj, to come to this place, to visit the place, because nobody's going to be there because it's in the middle of nowhere, right? It's not in a common route of travel in for all of the world, right? And Allah ordered him to proclaim. So Ibrahim was asking Allah, proclaim, order the people to come here, but who can hear me? He was asking Allah, and Allah answered, or Allah responded, yeah, just say it, just proclaim, they will come. You know, Allah can do anything, right? So Ibrahim alayhi went up to this quite a high place, a hill, right? And he proclaimed to the people. Now, if you read the tafsir of Ibn Kathir, and this was what it was described, when he said out loud, all the mountains lowered themselves, and the voices of Ibrahim went to the future generations, including you and me. That is what the first thing that we say, Allahumma labbaika umrah, which means, Ya Allah, here I am performing Umrah because you called me through Ibrahim alayhi salam. I'm here. I'm answering to your call. Right? So it is important that we understand why we say this. Because if not, then, you know, you do not, if people don't understand, then we lose the essence or the, I'm not saying that your Umrah won't be accepted, of course, but it's just that you lost the importance of this intention, right? At the miqat place, right? Now, so this is important. So immediately when you say this, the ihram conditions has started. Yeah. And then after that, there's a short dua that you can say, right? فَإِنْ حَبَسَنِي, just below it. Yeah? فَإِنْ حَبَسَنِي حَابِسٌ فَمَحِلِّ حَيْثُ حَبَسْتَنِي, which means if I'm prevented by any obstacle, my place of is where I'm held up. That means, right, if we don't say this dua, right, remember, we are in our ihram conditions. At no time, no matter how badly you are hurt or injured, you must still be out of these ihram conditions. If you happen to be injured or sick and you go to hospital, you are forced to come out of this ihram attire, then you do need to sacrifice a sheep. But with this dua, inshallah, especially important for people who are old and sick and all this, when they do the Umrah or Hajj, when they say this dua, when you say this dua and anything happens to you and me, we will not have to sacrifice a sheep if we happen to be, well, something happened to us and we need to come out of ihram conditions. Okay, so this is number one. Yeah, so the Allahumma labaka umrah is followed by fa in habasani fa habisun fa mahilli haythu habastani. It comes together, right? Now after that, immediately you start with your talbiyah. Now talbiyah, again, the meaning, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik, innal hamda wa ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika lak. The meaning, here I am, O Allah, here I am. Again, answering Allah, Ya Allah, you call me to Ibrahim alayhi salam, I'm here, right? There's no partner for you. Here I am. Verily, all praise is to you. Every bounty is from you, and all dominion is yours. You have no partners. So it means a glorification to Allah. Yeah, very important, right? You say this again and again. Now the bid'ah or the innovation is when people are reciting this together in unison, right? You don't recite this together, you recite this individually, because Prophet Muhammad SAW and the Sahaba has never done it together, right? Do it individually, right? To say this again and again. When do you recite this? So immediately after the miqat, the intention, right? You say this, we call it talbiyah, all the way until you reach the Kaaba. That means before the black stone, when you first start with your tawaf, you recite all this talbiyah. Yeah. So this is it. This is the first step of your intention and your talbiyah, right? Now, when you reach the hotel, whether it is in Mecca first with Iftikar and with the rest of us in Medina, right? And you can, of course, go to the hotel, relax yourself. You can take a shower, but always remember we are not supposed to use anything scented. It's one conditions of Umrah. So do not use the hotel soap to take a shower or even to clean yourself when you do your wee and all this. Right? You must have with you a non-scented soap that you bring from London. Right? It's important to use this. Right? Because again, if you use a scented soap, you might be falling into this that you might breach the conditions of your ihram and you might have to sacrifice a sheep. Yeah. Now, so this is important that as I said, if you reach the hotel first, yeah, this is a lot of tests might come. Perhaps even when you reach there about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, your rooms are not ready. So be patient. Yeah. If you want to do your umrah first, leave your bags with the reception and then do your umrah and can always come back and check in your room. Yeah. Sometimes even I know, even for me, I remember once, even I booked with one of the either Agoda or Booking.com. It's not in the system, right? And alhamdulillah, with Allah's will, they just managed to arrange for us another accommodation, another room, right? Even though it's not inside. So a lot of things can happen. Just need to be patient, inshallah. Yeah. So you are allowed to rest if you're tired, right, for 1 or 2 hours, right? If you want to continue with Umrah, it's up to you. If you're hungry, I would advise you, if you're hungry, eat first, because it's a long journey, at least 3-4 hours. Sometimes depends on how crowded it is. It is usually get crowded not in the Tawaf area, but in the Sa'i area within Safa and Marwa. There's the crowded thing. Yeah. So do be more. I mean, you need to be comfortable. Is it true? Yeah. When you perform your umrah, cannot perform your umrah and then, oh, I'm very hungry, right? No, right? If you're hungry, just grab some food to eat quickly, right? And then do your umrah comfortably, inshallah. All right. So take your time. There's no prize for the first person who finished the umrah. Yet, so take your time and do. We will for my group, right? We always meet somewhere, inshallah, at the lobby to do umrah, inshallah, right? At the same time, always remember, yeah, you are in your ihram conditions, right? You must take care of your tongue, right? Don't talk about things about the dunya. Do not do so much of your pages and for your social media, right? You are there. You can, of course. I'm not saying that you cannot motivate others by taking photographs of the mosque and all this, yeah, but minimize it, right? Especially when you're in your umrah, you can always do it after your umrah, take your photos and all this, show your families. Yeah, but in your umrah, try to minimize it, yeah, so that you can concentrate on your umrah, inshallah. Questions? Yes, Iftikhar.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. So my mic was just settings are just messed up. I just wanted to ask, could you just go through like what breaks the state of ihram?
Now, in your ihram attire, right, there are things that will breach it if you do this. First of all, as I said, no perfumes and no scented things, right? So next one, no hat, right? You can wear umbrella if you want to, but not above of your head, right? You must not expose. You must expose your feet and your ankle. So you must not wear shoes. Must not wear socks, right? You must not cut your hair. Must not cut your nails. If they cut, you must not propose, right? So you unless of course Adnan wants to marry the second one, can they propose later, inshallah, right? No proposals. No stitched clothes. That means no underwear, right? So you are not required to underwear. And I advise you, right? And this is between men and men, right? Use Vaseline at the area, because subhanallah, right? You are not used to it. It gets very rough and very uncomfortable and painful even, right? So use Vaseline. Yeah, of course, when you use Vaseline and touch that area, you need to do your wudu again. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's the conditions that you must not breach. Yeah.
And you know when you wear the ihram around your waist, are you allowed to wear a belt with it or no?
Yes, you can wear a belt. Of course, you need to wear a belt, because
Okay.
if not, then you'll be, yeah, free show. right? Any other things? All clear? Yeah. So this is just a starting point. Yeah. Now, assuming that I'm ready, all of us are ready to perform Umrah. We are in the hotel lobby waiting for everybody. Right. So when you go to the Umrah, I advise you to have with you your mini bag. Right. Mini bag. You must put your another plastic bag to put your sandals or slippers inside. Your bottle of Zamzam water, empty Zamzam water, but the bottle or any bottle, right? In the bag can put also, of course, your mobile phones and your notes and all this. Yeah. Some money, right? Because you might want to shave your hair, and it costs what, about £5, so about 20. Alhamdulillah, make dua. Good news, because now our currency is quite high, isn't it true? From today, I think £1 is about 4.9, right? When I went there in February was 4.2, 4.3, or even 4.1, can't remember, right? Very low, right? I think the first one was worse, was thanks to, what's her name? The one that the woman that was leading when she became prime minister, right? It becomes 3 point some, 3.9, right? That was when we went for Umrah in October, but now, alhamdulillah, it's 4.9. I checked today, but alhamdulillah. So our currency quite high now, yeah. So um, bring some money, because you need to pay perhaps about 20 or 25 to shave your hair, right? We're going to talk about later, inshallah. Yeah. So as you walk inside the mosque, right? When you come inside the mosque, you will come across some what do you call it? Zamzam water. Yeah. Zamzam water, and I'll show you later about how it comes about Zamzam water, as in the sense that there's a container and plastic cups right and left. So I'll show it to you on the photos later, inshallah. Fill up your bottle with Zamzam water, because you do not want because part of the sunnah to drink Zamzam water when you after your tawaf. Yeah, so you do not want to look for Zamzam water, because it's such a waste of time. Yeah, so you can just take from your bottle with Zamzam water and drink it, inshallah. Yeah. Now, when you enter the mosque, this is the dua of entering any mosque. Right? It is in the number one, dua before entering Masjid al-Haram. Right? أعوذ بالله العظيم وبوجهه الكريم وسلطانه القديم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله اللهم افتح لي أبواب رحمتك. Yeah? Again, as I said to Adnan, we do not need to memorize. If memorize is good, alhamdulillah, but just need to read from your notes or from your mobile phone, yeah, to the dua entering this Masjid al-Haram. Yeah? So when you enter, as I said, fill up your water bottles at the side. You can drink from some water, inshallah, and then you proceed. Yeah. Proceed, and when you enter and see the Kaaba for the first time, right, there is this dua that you can say, right? It's in my notes in Roman number 2, right? Allahumma zid hadal baita tashrifan wa ta'ziman wa takriman wa mahabatan wa zid man sharafahu wa karramahu mimman hajjahu aw i'tamarahu tashrifan wa ta'ziman wa takriman wa birra. Allahumma antas salam wa minka salam fa hayyina rabbana bis salam. Right? Again, do not memorize this. Just take out from your list and read from this. Right? The meaning is very beautiful. So I won't go through the meaning today. Yeah, just go through it. Yeah, it's all about to thank Allah, to honor Allah and the house of Allah, which is the Kaaba, right? And to increase those who are going for the Hajj and Umrah with honor, and to revere it and all this. Yeah. Important dua. Yeah. And after that, you take up as the one I wrote in bold. Then you make your dua, any dua that you wish to make. Always remember, when you do this, the etiquette of making dua, don't forget. The first one is to glorify Allah first, right? To thank Allah, say Alhamdulillah. Then you send blessings of Prophet Muhammad. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala nabina Muhammad. Then you ask Allah for forgiveness. The best forgiveness is dua of Yunus alayhi salam. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minal zalimin. And say the dua through his beautiful names. Ya Allah, Ya Rab, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, and all this. Make dua. Yeah, lift up your hands, make dua. So this is one of the best days to make dua, when you first see Kaaba for the first time. Yeah. Now, then you're ready to go to your to do your tawaf, right? Now, before all this, make sure you expose your right shoulder. Why right shoulder? As we talked before, yeah. In the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there was a rumor, yeah, the Muslims are very weak, not healthy. And then this message was informed to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's why he ordered the men, right, to expose your right shoulder to show muscles, literally, right? That's why the first 3 rounds you jog to show that your Muslims are fit and healthy. It is a sunnah, and you should do this sunnah, right, when you do your umrah. But of course, if you don't do it because of that you are the too many people to do it, what is the hadith about intention? You have an intention to do a good deed, but you cannot do it. You still get the reward of the good deed, right? And the reward of a sunnah is amazing, right? We did discuss before in Surah number 3, verse number 31. قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ وَيَغْفِرْ لَكُمْ ذُنُوبَكُمْ وَاللَّهُ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ, right? Which means, say, O Muhammad, to mankind, if you love Allah, then follow me. That means follow the practices of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? Then Allah will love you and forgive you of your sins, and He is often forgiving, the most merciful, right? Which means whatever sunnah that there is available, just follow it, inshallah. Even though you cannot do it, as I said just now, because too many people cannot jog for 3 rounds, then you have the intention to do it but couldn't do it, you get the reward for the sunnah, inshallah, right? Which earns Allah's love and Allah's forgiveness. Yeah. Now, so we begin with, so you say again, we see a talbiyah, right? Talbiyah, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik, innal hamda wa ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika lak, until you reach this is the 4 corners of the Kaaba, as you know. The most important corner is it faces the direction of the area. So this is called this faces Yemen, so this Yemeni corner. The one, this Kaaba on this side, the nearest to the door, is called Hajar Aswad corner, because Hajar Aswad, the black stone, is here. Yeah. So always remember, whenever you enter the Masjid Haram, right, you must know where is your hotel. If your hotel is here, you enter here. Okay, so I will exit from this part, because it's so big. You do not want to exit for another part, because then you end up going out round, very big round, go to your hotel, right? So always remember, yeah, the entrance, the gate, there are about how many, more than 100 gates, yeah, to Masjid Haram. And remember where you enter, and even when we enter from this side, for example, the door is there, I enter here, for example, right? Remember, when you exit from the same side, yeah. So assuming that I'm entering from here, I have not reached the Hajar Aswad corner, so my tawaf haven't started yet. So I will walk onto these things, right, until come to this place. Now from here to there's a wall here of the mosque. There is this green light, right? So from here to the green light is your starting point. Imagine there's a line here, right? It's the starting point of your tawaf. And according to my notes, yeah, you will say, and you will point out to the so let's say the Kaaba is here, right? I'm going on the live, so I point out to the Hajar Aswad, Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. Yeah, it's a starting point. Yeah, and then you should point out according to the Sunnah, and then Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. Very seldom can you kiss a black stone, at least at the starting point, because a lot of people are there. So be patient. Inshallah, you can kiss it. You know, if I want to try to kiss it, I will always kiss it in the last round, because you will spend at least 5-10 minutes trying to kiss the black stone, and it might disrupt your dua, your khushu', yeah, of trying to be able to get closer to Allah. So I will do on the last round, on the 7th round, if I want to kiss the black stone, right? Remember, to kiss the black stone is a sunnah. To hurt others is haram, right? So you don't hurt others. You push here, push there, especially the sisters, right? Sometimes sisters are worse, right? They know that the brothers will be scared of them, because who wants to touch them, right? Because you're, and they just push against you, and you have to give way, and they're the worst sometimes, the women, right? Allah forgive them. So we start with Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, in the name of Allah, Allah the greatest, and then we can say any dua that you want, right? I've chosen 2 according to the Sunnah. Here, one of them is Allahumma imanan bika. Sorry if the writing is not correct, or it's not clear. Allahumma imanan bika wa tasdiqan bi kitabika wa wafa'an bi ahdika wa ittiba'an li sunnati nabiyika Muhammadin sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Oh our Lord, by my belief in you, my belief in your book, and fulfilling your command, and following the traditions of your Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yeah, and you can say this another adhkar. Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah akbar, because this adhkar is the one which Allah love the most. Yeah. So you can choose anything that you want. I would always begin my tawaf with glorification of Allah first. Subhanallah wa bihamdi and all this. Yeah. Now, so again, this is where Adnan in Malaysians and all these are very common, these innovations. One round and a specific dua, second round another specific dua, third round another dua. It's all innovation, right? You can do whatever you want, right? But as I said, in the first 1 or 2 rounds, I will glorify Allah first. Thank Allah, I can say Al-Fatiha and all this, Subhanallah wa bihamdi and all this. You have to thank Allah and to glorify Him. Yeah. So as I said, so you go 1 round, right? And again, if there's enough space, I would do a slow jog, right? To show that we have Muslims have enough energy. This is a sunnah. You get the reward, inshallah, right? Until you reach the corner before this, right? This is called the Hajar, so this is Yamani corner, right? And then you will say from here, Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adhaban nar. This is the only thing that you say as a sunnah. Other parts you can say anything. This is the only thing that you say. Of course, if you have time, you can say any other dua, but at least once you say from Yamani corner to the Hajar corner, Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adhaban nar. And you see the Blackstone corner again, Hajar Aswad corner, you say Bismillah Allahu Akbar. Okay, so again, don't worry, but today is just an introduction. I will repeat it again and again and again, inshallah, right until you are tired of it. Right. So we start with this, right? So 1, 2, 3, right? You go around and you have you do a slow jog. Then you walk normally, right? 4, 5, 6, 7. You end with Bismillah Allahu Akbar, and you finish. So every time you come from the Yamani corner to Hajar Aswad corner, you say Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adhaban nar. When every time you come across reach this part, the Hajar Aswad corner, you say Bismillah Allahu Akbar. Okay, so 7 times or 7 rounds, yeah, until you finish it, right? And this must be in a state of wudu. If you have no wudu or you break your wudu, you need to do. I mean, in my opinion, there's 2 opinions. You can start where you stop, but I think it is better for you to do the whole tawaf all over again from round 0. If you are not sure, is it the 4th round or 3rd round? Always choose a lower number, 3rd round, right? And you just do not contemplate upon whether 4th or 3rd. Just do according to what it is you think it is 3rd, and you continue and finish the rounds. Yeah. Any questions? Clear? Okay. So after finish, don't worry, as I said, if you don't understand, you will understand later, right? Finish the 7th round. There is this in front here, very near is called Maqam Ibrahim, which is the footsteps of Ibrahim alayhi salam. If you pass nearby, it's okay. If you're far away, it's okay. But you just need to pass by near it, yeah. And that is the saying in my notes, yeah, in number 7 of the Roman numeral, وَاتَّخِذُوا مِن مَقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مُصَلَّى, which means, and take the station of Ibrahim as a place of prayer. Yeah. Then I will pray 2 raka'ah. Okay, when you do your prayers for the brothers, you do need to cover your shoulders, right? So don't pray with the exposed right shoulder. You cover your shoulders, right? And then you will pray 2 raka'ah. First raka'ah is Al-Fatiha and Al-Kafirun. Second raka'ah, Al-Fatiha and Al-Ikhlas. Then after that, you stand up, right? You face this Multazam is an area between, see the door of the Kaaba and the Hajar Aswad corner. This whole thing is called Multazam, right? So you will make dua, right? Take out if you have a dua sheet, take out dua sheet. Yeah, I would, if you not, because sometimes when you are so sad and so emotional, you may not remember your dua. I would write down my dua on a piece of paper, print it, and just take out the sheet and make dua. Again, don't forget the etiquette of making dua. Yes, and make dua as much as I can facing the multazam. Yeah. After that, according to my notes, you will drink Zamzam water. It is a sunnah if you can to recite this dua. Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafi'an wa rizqan wasi'an wa shifa min kulli da'in. Asking Allah for beneficial knowledge, limitless provisions, and cure from all diseases. Yes. So the tawaf has finished. Any questions? So we did the intention, we did the tawaf. Questions? Yes, Intikam.
Sheikh, could you just go over the bit when you're talking about the Maqam Ibrahim, like we have to
Yes.
do over there?
You don't need to do anything, right? Some of these were Indonesians and all this. What they irritatingly do, they pray exactly in front of Maqam Ibrahim, which is wrong, because then you are preventing others from doing the tawaf. Just go away from it, right? When you finish the 7th round, right? When you go to the place to pray on the way, you just say wattakhidhu mim maqami Ibrahim musalla, which is my notes, right? And then before you start your prayer, please remind each other to cover your shoulder and pray 2 raka'ah. Yeah, and after that, after 2 raka'ah, you stand up, or if you sit down, you can see the multazam. This is multazam. Make dua. This is one of the most. I'll tell you next time what happened to me when I make dua. Right, very important place to make dua. Then drink your zamzam water, inshallah. You can say any dua, of course, before you drink zamzam water, but this is one of the recommended ones to say. Yeah. Questions? Is it clear, Aftika?
Yes.
Yeah. Now the next step is Safa Marwa. This is all the Sa'i. Sa'i is between Safa Marwa was when Hajjah was looking for water, right? As you know, Ibrahim Aslam left him with just some dates and some water, which was finished. It finished, of course, because Ismail was there, right, drinking water. And then she was desperate to find water. She went 7 times between Hajjah and Marwa. So Safa and Marwa, yeah. And don't worry, now it's a condition, yeah. So you just need to go there 7 times between Safa and Marwa. There is a saying, right? I won't go through this saying, just for introduction, right? You don't have to understand this today, yeah. As I'm going, we start on Safa first. When I go up the Safa mountain, I say Inna Safa wal Marwata min sya'airillah faman hajjal baita wa i'tamara fala junaha alai an yatawafa bihima wa man tatawwa fa inna Allah syakirun alim, right? And then when I'm on top, I say nabda'u bima bada Allah bih once, yeah. And then I say this dua, all in my notes, yeah, 3 times, yeah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, walillahil hamd, right? Sorry, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarika lah, lahul mulku wa lahu ala kulli syai'in qadir, La ilaha illallah wahdah anjaza wa'dah wa nasara 'abdah wa hazamal ahzaba wahdah. I say this 3 times. And in between this, I make one dua. Yeah. And then I will go down, right? And then between Safa and Marwa, it is about 450 meters. You can say whatever you want. And you do not need to be in a state of wudu, but I would want to be in a state of wudu because I'll be reading the Qur'an, I will be doing my dua. So I like to be in a state of wudu, but you do not need to be if you have passed wind. Yeah. So now, as you are passing by about 50 meters, there is a green light on top. For 50 meters, I do a slow jog for the man, yeah, for 50 meters. Then the rest just walk normally, yeah. Then after that, when I reach the other side, same thing. When I go up, I will say again Inna Safa wal Marwata and all this. On the top, I do the takbir 3 times, yeah. And after that, I will go back to the other side. So between Safa and Marwa, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I end up in in Marwa as a last on the 7th one, yeah. And that means my sa'i has finished. Every part you do the same. The process, as I said, don't need to worry about now because we have time to learn, inshallah. Yeah. But just to know that at each part, at each stop of Safa Marwa, there is a things to say. This all in my notes, yeah, that you need to say. The last bit about after sa'i is they call it tahlul, which is to cut or shave your hair. The hadith goes like this. Prophet Muhammad said, "Oh ya Allah, have mercy on those who shave the head." The companions asked, oh Rasulullah, what happened to those who cut the hair? Then he made the second dua, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Allah, have mercy on those who shave the head. And the companions asked again, what about those who cut the head? Then he made another dua, Ya Allah, have mercy on those who shave the hair and cut the hair. So literally, when we shave the hair, we get the dua of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to ask for Allah's mercy 3 times. and you get the dua. If you just cut the hair, you get the mercy dua from Rasulullah, ask Allah's mercy once. Yes, so up to you, right? But of course, it's best to get Allah's mercy 3 times in it, true. Yeah, that's why we can't end up to shave the hair for the brothers, inshallah. That's it. That ends the Umrah. It should take, well, at least the thing that will have a lot of people is always the Sa'i, Safa Marwa. That takes a lot of time because I don't know, it's a lot of people when we went there for 2 occasions, was last October and last February. We went there. On both occasions, they were, even that it's not a peak season for the Umrah, but still so many people went. Yeah, so that may take the whole process of Umrah may take about 3 to 4 hours, inshallah. Questions? Yes, Iftikhar.
I just wanted to ask, what was the issue pertaining to doing Umrah more than once on one visit? Can you just clarify that?
What is the? Sorry?
I remember on the first lesson, it was mentioned that there was like some sort of ikhtilaf on doing Umrah more than once on one visit.
Now, some scholars said you can only do Umrah once, right? Because, but some scholars said, and I followed the second one, in which, because Aisha radhiallahu anha, she wanted to do an Umrah. Now Prophet Muhammad asked the companion to bring her to a mosque, which is now named as Masjid Aisha in a place called Tanaim, right? And he made the intention to do Umrah, and he did all the work that we did just now. Yeah, we discussed just now. So on that basis, right, I did when I went to quite some time ago, I did ask some scholars that, and they said, yes, you can do second and third Umrah and all this, but always remember, right, try not to compete with each other just because you want to show off. I've done 7 Umrah, I've done 8 Umrah, right? It is for your own self. If you want to do the second and third Umrah for others, for those who have passed away and all this, you can, right? So in your intention, you say, Allahumma labbaika umrah an, then you say the name of the deceased person, right? And inshallah, the deceased will get reward for Umrah, especially regarding your parents or your grandparents who have passed away. Yeah. You can do this, yeah, according to some scholars, but of course, as I said, some scholars they said no. This the miqat place in Masjid Aisha is only for those who live in Mecca. Yeah, so there are 2 opinions regarding this.
Exactly. So then, if you were to do a second time, you would have to go to this Masjid Aisha and make a miqat there.
Yeah, so I would just have to do with Masjid Aisha to do the intention. So the whole process is the same. The ghusl and all this, tawaf, sa'i, it's all the same. Yeah, the intention starts from the Masjid Aisha. Okay.
Exactly.
And also now, every time when you enter the mosque in London, what do you do? Tahiyatul Masjid, right? So according to some people, some scholars, right, whenever if you have time, right, when you come to the mosque, instead of praying 2 raka'ah or Tahiyatul Masjid, you do 7 rounds of tawaf. It's called sunnah tawaf, right? Don't underestimate sunnah tawaf. Sunnah tawaf is very important because the tawaf is one of the best days to make dua, right? Because it's sunnah tawaf. So instead, so let's say the Dhuhr is about 12:30, for example, right? I will come in about 11:30 or 11 o'clock. I do my tawaf first before I do the 2 raka'ah of Tahiyatul Masjid. If I'm late, then I just do my 2 Tahiyatul Masjid, right? So do as many sunnah tawaf as possible, but it is, I mean, I'm not sure what's happening now, right? The last 2 times that we went, because I would always prefer to do my salah, especially the evening salah and the tawaf around the Kaaba. But at this point of time, for the past year, at least 1 or 2 years, only those in ihram attire are able to go to the part at the of the Kaaba area, right? So what we would do is that we would always be in our ihram attire, right, to be close to the Kaaba and to do the tawaf, right? So many people would do that, right? I don't know why they make these changes. I mean, for me personally, why make all these changes? Because we can do whatever we want, because it doesn't make sense, right? Because the sisters can go anytime that they want, because sisters in the ihram attire, non-ihram attire, they're still wearing the same thing, right? It's the brothers that are having all these restrictions, which doesn't make sense. Yeah. So not sure whether the law is the rule still applies today. I did see some people doing the tawaf now. Somebody showed me to
Yes,
me.
I saw that as well. I think they opened up for everyone now. I'm not sure if that's the
Alhamdulillah,
case,
right?
but yeah.
So hopefully they have changed. But if they have not, I advise you to get, perhaps you buy one first, ihram attire, then you can buy there in Bin Daud and all these places too, right? A second one if you cannot wear this, right? But if the car you saw, right, in the photos, yeah.
No, I saw it like it was an article. Someone said they opened up to everyone.
Alhamdulillah, it's good, right? So that means
I also have another question, if you don't mind.
yes.
Say, for example, you're doing your tawaf and then it gets interrupted by the adhan and the salah. So what do you do then?
Yeah. So if so, that means you count. So surely the adhan is quite long, right? With beautiful voice and all this, yeah. So I just, especially if you're with your mothers or with your aunties and all this, right? Stop quite quickly because they need to go to the female areas. Right? With brothers is fine, right? You can continue to do until your iqama even, right? So if I happen to want to stop to do, because actually when if you don't stop, the whole place gets very crowded. Then you have to go another big circle because people start to do your sunnah prayer and all this, right? So if I were to stop, I remember, okay, I finished 4 rounds, right? So and then I start to look for my place to pray. And then when I get up, I continue from there. I continue. This is the 5th round, and I continue where I stop, right? But sometimes it is good to do an umrah, especially, right? To time yourself so that you do not interfere with or do not let the salah interfere. So that means instead of doing umrah after Maghrib, I wait until after Isha to do my umrah, right? That makes it much easier for me, right? But of course, you can't wait. It's up to you to do it. Okay. Questions? Okay, so let's end today. Yeah, for today, just immerse in what we have been talking today about the process. We are going to go to the process again next week, inshallah. Yeah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala invite us, all of us, to go to the Umrah. Yeah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our deeds. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ease our task, grant us patience, and grant all of us Jannatul Firdaus. Subhanaka wa bihamdika la ilaha illa anta wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wa assalamu ala mursalin walhamdulillahi alamin. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Jazakumullah khair. We'll see each other next week, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair.